good.
Amazing. Good stuff. So guys, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get Katie to basically give us a little insight to her journey with the business. For those of you that have never heard Katie's story, how to condense that down into 5 minutes is, I don't know how that she does it, but it's been such an incredible journey. So Katie, do you want to just like introduce yourself to everybody? I know a lot of people probably do know who you are, but I think it'd be really nice just to refresh everybody's mind to, you know, just to remind everyone where you've really come from and the journey that you've been on with Juice Plus.
Hi everybody, and thanks for joining the team call today. Super excited. I apologize for my beach bum look. I was on the beach this morning. One of the beautiful perks of truly having this mission and this full-time income is that I can just take off and go to the beach in the morning. Truly beautiful. But life wasn't like that. And yes, as Millie said, it's very hard to condense 8 years of experience and journey of the ups and downs, literally, through Juice Plus in a short few minutes. So I'll try and be as quick as I can with it. So yeah, I started 8 years ago. I was broke, working as a office admin. I jumped from job to job to job, trying to find something that really just lit my soul on fire. And I really struggled because I was looking for all of what Juice Plus has to offer in the corporate world. And unfortunately, that doesn't exist, as I found out. I would go through all these different jobs looking for it. And even running my own traditional business, or assisting in it, let's say, with the family business, it still didn't give me all of the things that I have now at Juice Plus. It just doesn't. So I was living off £800 a month, literally. I was still living at home at 23 years old. I was really shameful that I was still living at home at 23. And if you said that to somebody here in the United States, they'd literally like think you were batshit crazy, because kids leave at 18 and then go and figure the shit out. You know, they're on their own. And it's definitely a different dynamic in the UK. I was car sharing with my boyfriend at the time. Literally, we could only afford a like 5-year-old mini one, and it was blue, and I hated it. And it was a stick shift, which I hate even more now, as I love automatic cars. And I was just thinking, how is life going to get any different? How is life going to change? And there was nothing that was going to give me everything that I hoped and dreamed for in the future. I dreamt of being able to spend more time in the sunshine, not necessarily live in the sunshine, but spend more time in it instead of just scrimping and scraping for one vacation a year. That would have to be all inclusive and be super cheap. I would shop at places like Primark, which, hey, I have nothing against Primark. I would give my left arm to have a Primark here. Trust me. Oh my God, I miss it so much. When you don't have something, you miss it so much even more. But at the time, it was like all I could afford was Primark clothes. And if I wanted a new outfit, it was Primark. And I remember one time going on a date with a guy, and he was like, "Oh, your dress is nice. Where's it from?" And I was like, "Oh, it's from Harvey Nichols, like Selfridges or something." I was so embarrassed the fact that it was from Primark, because he was like this posh guy. Later on in life, realized that none of that shit actually matters. When you're trying to impress somebody, it's, you know, hey, that was a little inside information that nobody knows about me. But yeah, life was crap, and even my health was crap. I would suffer really bad with headaches, with migraines. My skin was terrible. I wish I had photos of it, like with no makeup on, nothing, but I would literally cake my face in makeup so you wouldn't see all the blemishes and all the scars and all the redness and everything else. My hair wouldn't grow at all, and now I'm like, my hairdresser I drive her crazy, because she's like, I need my extensions moving up all the time, and I just love extensions, especially being here in the US. It's with the beach vibes and stuff. I just love it. I don't need them, but I just love them. And having to have them moved up every 6 weeks, which usually, well, every 4 weeks really. And it's like, it gets to 6 to 10 weeks, and she was like, "This isn't normal that you have to come in every 4 weeks to have your hair done. What the hell are you doing?" I was like, "Well, it's just Plus." It's so healthy and shiny, whereas before it wasn't. I would be constantly in and out of the doctor's office. I had every sickness, illness, everything that was going around, I got it. So that meant more time off work, which meant less pay, and it really made me suffer, and it wasn't setting me up for a good future, let's put it that way. I couldn't get a mortgage because of the income I was on. So I would work 3 jobs. I'd be a waitress. I would do TV and model work and acting work and just like little bits on the side. Nothing like, I'm not famous or anything like that. But it was just like TV extra work. It was just anything just for that extra little bit of money. Just anything, not literally anything, but anything suitable that I would enjoy doing that I would do part-time. So running around doing 3 jobs, I was exhausted and I just had enough. And then when Juice Plus came along, it ticked every single box. My brother was taking the capsules. I saw tremendous changes in him, and he was my biggest inspiration, from going from somebody who never ate fruits and vegetables in his life to then all of a sudden craving it and wanting it and actually eating it. I'm like, well, I need this, it's something simple, easy, affordable, and convenient that I can do on a daily basis. There's nothing else that is consistent in my life other than taking Juice Plus capsules. Literally, that's the most consistent thing I have in my life, and what it's given me for my health and how it's helped me in my own life journey is amazing. I had a very healthy pregnancy. I have a very healthy baby girl because of it. I had a great recovery because of it, and it's truly given me, actually, because I'm on the go so much, I'm having my complete shake right now. That again is another lifesaver. So it's just been an amazing part of my life. And fast forwarding all the years in between first getting started and to now, it took me a year to really get my business off the ground. I don't know how I made SDD. I couldn't tell you how I did it, but I did it. I think it was just really just sharing my story and putting a few little bits here and there on social media. And back then in 2011, the year that I joined, social media was just starting to get a little bit bigger. So there wasn't as much noise back then, but obviously Juice Plus, nobody had ever heard of it. So trying to convince people to use it was really hard. But I stuck at it. It took me a year, and eventually I made a really strong decision one day that I'm going to really make a strong effort at this. And the moment that I did that, and the moment I decided I didn't care what people thought anymore, I care about people. I just don't care about what they think. And there's a big difference. So if you care about what people think, guys, this is what's holding you back right now. And the moment I decided that I'm going to care for people, but not care about what they think, my life took a dramatic change. And I got super excited. I just started to share it with everybody that I came into contact with, whether that was social media or in person. I made relationships and connections and built on those relationships and those connections, and built trust and built that friendship further. So then when people were joining, they became raving fans, and they just wanted to stay in the community and feel part of something. And that's probably why a lot of you are actually involved in the business right now, because you want to feel part of something. And feeling actually, the thought of even leaving and scrolling through everybody's stuff and seeing what everybody's up to, you have the, FOMO, the fear of missing out. So after a few years of doing the business, my check started to grow and grow and grow. Within the first year, I was able to get myself out of my parents' house. I bought myself a 1-bedroom apartment, which was like £95,000. This beautiful converted mill. I loved it. Millie's actually been there once. Got myself my own car. My dream car was a Mini Countryman, and to this day I still love those cars. If I could have another one, I still would. But they're just not very popular here, and every freaking car in America is huge. So having a Mini, I would feel like a little pea on a drum. I'd feel terrified. So I managed to get myself my own car, and finally with going qualified national marketing director within, I think it was like 8 months, I was able to book myself onto a trip to LA, which was always my dream place to go to visit America. It was always my dream to go to America and go to the US conference. And going there, it just completely opened up my eyes and really got me excited. Actually, the conferences in the UK now are far better and far greater than the US, but back then they were like, holy shit, this is legit. And then coming home, it just really ignited my fire even more, and my business just kept growing over the years to get into about 800 club, which was insane. And now it's dropped back down to about 400 club. My worst year, it was just over 300 club, but you know, it's been a nice steady 300 to 400 club basis, which means it's roughly around 30,000 to 40,000 pounds a month income. And it just blows my mind even saying that sometimes. Like, I look at my bank account and I'm like, what? You know, and I'm not saying all this to impress you guys, but to impress upon you, like, anything is truly possible when you really put your mind to it. And I met Luke through the business and started dating him, and thank God for that income and that flexibility and freedom. I was able to date back and forth to the United States, where eventually we decided that I was going to come over and live here because we was done with the immigration. And yeah, just set ourselves up a beautiful family home here where we live on the ocean. We've got a huge house. So I thought my parents' house was huge, but this is a huge house. Like, I get lost in it sometimes, but you know, I could never have dreamed of even paying $6,000 a month for rent for a place. I mean, it's just insane. But it's just thanks to this business, it's been able to give us so many amazing choices. Having Lake, I didn't have health insurance, and it cost me $30,000 to have her with a C-section, and an extra 2 days in hospital waiting for Luke to come and collect us as he was flying back from Fiji as she was born. You know, it's always been there for me, this business, whether it's the people, the products, or the money, or just the inspiration or the motivation, or just it really truly does tick every single box. And when you really look at it and what this could give you, even on a small scale or a large scale, it's so amazing. And the moment that you step out of it and look at what else is out there, I'm not in talks about like other companies and stuff like that, but when you just really take a step back and really look at what we have, it's truly fucking beautiful. It really is. It's truly an amazing business. And yeah, that's kind of my my backstory a little bit, Nils. I hope that was.
Thanks, Katie. Yeah, like it's so amazing to hear your story, because you know it's all the little things, you know, that you mention, and you know, that perhaps we don't know, that is really so inspiring, you know, because you know, I'm sure everybody sees you as like Katie, you know, PMD, but you're just another human. You're just like us. You're just like everybody else. You've just got this unstoppable burning desire inside of you, which I've always seen. You know, you're always, you know, leading from the front, stepping up, you know, doing your thing, you know, and always looking for the next thing and delivering, which is so inspiring. So what we wanted to talk to you all about tonight, guys, is mindset and law of attraction, because it's something that Katie and I are both super passionate about, and we've had quite a lot of experience within our lives. So Katie, it's really quite important, isn't it, to you know, to have that mindset, to have a positive mindset. Do you just want to share like how mindset has changed through your business?
Totally. I have to say, probably giving myself a little bit of coaching at the same time as I'm sharing this with you guys. The moment where my business took off, and I shared that briefly in the story, it was when I just decided no longer to care about what people think. And it's so important, because you can't go through this business, you can't really do anything in life, honestly, anything in life, you can't go through life wondering what people think of you, because it completely and utterly steals away your joy, because you're living in a constant fear. And when you live in fear, you actually get about this book all the time, and it's The Power, by Rhonda Byrne, who did The Secret. And it talks about the actual vibes that you give off, and it's so true. When I the first few years of building business, like, I was just vibrating on such a different level, and didn't really care about what anyone thought, but I still cared about people. Like, I would, you know, add value and help people as much as possible, and all of these different things. But when you have, and it's not so much a rah positive attitude, because you can have a positive attitude on the outside but be dying on the inside. I don't know if you guys have ever felt like that before, and you know, be honest and nod your head if you have, because if you're not nodding your head, then again, you're having this moment where you're not truly being transparent, because we've all had those moments, right? We kind of like fake it to make it sort of thing. When you can truly unlock the inside of you, that radiates positivity, instead of just it being on the surface, you will then attract people to you. You'll attract a different energy. You'll attract a different type of tribe. You will vibrate differently. And that sounds all, you know, woohoo and wishy-washy and tree hugging stuff, but it's so true. As the more books I've read over the past few years, the common theme throughout them is when you truly have that inside of you. And trust me, when you've been through shit in life, you've had the setbacks, the knockdowns, the words, the comments, the failures, as you call them, the failures, or the, you know, all of these negative things that happen to our lives start stacking. I talk about this on the podcast. And where your soul is, or where your core is, you start stacking all of these different beliefs on top of each other. You move so far away from your core and your core belief that you start believing this stuff that's on the surface up here, and forget really who you are. And this is where people are operating from. They're operating from all of this shit that's been built up over the years of their own beliefs, or what other people have said, or life circumstances or challenges, or all of this bullshit that you let stack up. And I've been guilty of this, guys. Like, I've been on a huge, you know, personal growth journey over the last few years, because I've had to. In order for me to get to that next level, I've had to concentrate on personally developing my mindset and my body and the way of thinking to go to that next level. Like, I'm going to be at the club level I am now, unless something changes. Excuse me, that's complete talking. So the moment that we start breaking away all of this shit and moving it away by doing the work, and I'm not saying that you fully work on this and not work on a Juice Plus business, but when you can kind of work on this part as well as working on your business, you make the business so much more easier. Because the closer you get to actually truly living from your core and your spirit, and how you really feel down here, you're going to vibrate so much differently. But because you are vibrating from all of this shit that's in between you and your soul, this is all the energy that you're vibing from. This is why you can't get customers, or you can't get team, or you can't do this, or you can't do that, or, you know, whatever it may be, or your relationships are not going well, or your friendships aren't going well, or you have certain beliefs around money and all of this different stuff. This is all that shit there is affecting how you actually vibrate out to the world. So I don't mean to plug my podcast on here, but there's things that I've done over the years that have helped me reduce all of this noise and crap down to where I'm so much more further towards my core spirit, that I feel so much more better about myself. I feel better about the relationships that I have. I feel better about my direction and where I'm going, and where I want to go and what I want to do, that I truly have so much peace, and no longer the desire sometimes to be like, oh, I'm going to hit it hard and work like all hours God sends and like, no, I'm like, I'm going to work between these hours and that's it. And then anything else is fine, because I truly am living from my true spirit now, instead of being dictated from all the shit. So I don't know if any of you guys resonate with that. I mean, hold up your hands if you do. That's awesome. And it's just learning to reconnect back with yourself in order to feel that truly happy, positive spirit. I don't know if that makes sense, Millie, or if you want to add anything to that, but it's the way that I've learned to reconnect with myself, and like I said, I'm attracting so much more because of it.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I completely resonate with everything that you say, Katie, because I've, similarly to you, been on a massive self-development journey since I've, you know, started Juice Plus. I'm a very different person because of the inner dialogue that I have to myself. And if any of you guys are thinking about, like, well, it's all well and good, like, talking about how you vibrate and stuff, but how do you go about that? So there's so many different things that we could both recommend. And, like, you know, I definitely didn't, like, Kate didn't tell me to plug her podcast, but guys, if you haven't listened to it yet, go and do it. I'm not joking, honestly, it's so heartful and soulful, and you will learn so much from that podcast. It's got so much value in it, so that's a great starting point. But for me, definitely, you know, I had no idea what all of this meant. I just knew that, you know, whatever I was thinking about, I attracted, because, that's just the way that the world works. If you think negatively, you will attract more negativity, because every thought that you have has a vibration, and you will attract that back. It's really simple. It's like Katie says, it sounds a bit like tree huggy, but it's so super true. And it's so, you've just got to practice it, and you've just got to trust it. Like the secret says, ask, believe, receive. But the other thing that's really important is that you've got to feel. So whatever it is that you want, you've got to feel like what you want, and then know that it's true. Because if you can think about something and visualize it, you're already basically, working towards that. It's already out there. It's already an outcome that you can achieve. You've just got to decide that you believe it, and then you can go down that path. So
I think as well, Millie, just to butt in there a little bit and just reiterate what you said, I think thoughts are very, very powerful. And if I've been the victim of it today. I've been the victim of my own thoughts, honestly. Like, me guys, I'm so transparent. I've let one thought, sorry, repeats on me so bad. I've let one thought turn into another thought, then which turns into another thought, and then it goes in a spiral, and you go in this downward spiral. And unless you recognize it quickly and train yourself to recognize it quickly, you'll carry on a spiral, and this is what you vibrate out, where you get so deep, and then when you do that, you create another stack, and then you might do it the day after, go on this negative spiral, but get so deep and it becomes another stack, and then another, and then another, and again you're moving so far away from your core. So it might be something to practice every single day. Trust me, I'm still practicing. I'm not the master yet. I'm becoming the master. This is what I tell myself. I'm becoming the master of it. Is, the initial negative thought is going no, and instead attach another meaning or positive outlook to it. So let's just say, like, Lake has been driving me crazy this weekend, like with her toddler tantrums. I'm like, what the fuck? Where has this child come from? Like, seriously. So instead of saying that, which I've been saying to myself, which is now vibrating off to her, she's picking up on those thoughts and those energies. So instead I'm going, oh, she's such a darling. She's struggling to communicate what she wants. She's struggling to actually know what she's feeling. She's hitting the twos now where she's independent, but still needs help, but she's frustrated. So I kind of tell myself a different thought to it, instead of believing the negative thought and going, oh my God, my child is driving me crazy. Where the hell did this person come from? It's going, oh, I love her and appreciate her so much. She doesn't understand what she needs to feel right now. So I just need to help her navigate that a little bit better. But because I initially had the thought of she's driving me crazy, then that affects my mood. So then that affects, the people around me. So then Luke is going, oh, what's wrong? I'm saying nothing, and then again, that just spirals. And then before we know it, we've got a shit show. Now, does he play the part in that, Luke? Yes, because then he shouldn't label me and be like, oh, she's being moody, because then he then starts a negative spiral, which then another stack happens. So then, oh, she's just moody. Boom. Now he's just created an identity and a label about me, which isn't true, because that's not my true essence, is it? But because when we label people, which we tend to do often as humans, going, oh, well, so-and-so said this and she's such a bitch. Well, you've just labeled her, and now you've labeled her, you're going to view her differently. So when you view her differently, you're then going to have a different mindset, and obviously put that energy out there, and then that creates a negative spiral, and then you stack it. So going back to it, it's really being very, very conscious, and you don't have to be constantly thinking about your thoughts all the time, but just catching it in the moment, going, is this a negative thought? Yes. Okay, how can I change that? And the moment you start doing that and practicing over and over, you won't even need to think about it anymore, because then you'll just start actively thinking positively about a situation, a person, or a comment, or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as well, like, the good thing to remember is, like, if you do have negative thoughts, it doesn't make you bad. It doesn't make you a wrong person. It's just you being more self-aware and going, where did that thought come from? And I really think it comes down to the business as well. So this is what I was just thinking when Kate was talking then about that situation, is like, how does this relate to business? It relates in such a massive way, guys, because if you're thinking to yourself, I can't get customers, I can't do this, I can't get team members, guess what? That is the vibration you're putting straight out there to the universe. So what are you going to attract? Nothing, because you can't get customers, right?
So true. It's so true. Like, these principles apply to everyday life, guys, where it comes to your business, your relationships, your friendships, just your physical health, your well-being, your mental health, everything. It sorry, excuse me. It plays a huge role in every thought that you have plays a massive role. And I was reading a book in Hawaii, the Dr. Joe Dispenza. I'll have to screenshot it and put it in the group because that's a really good book as well. Just about retraining your brain into the thought processes, because it was interesting because at this Tony Robbins event that we went to, we learned that you can actually retrain and rewire the brain any way that you want to. You can, some people, or men and women in particular, have different operating systems. So, and this is what I'll be talking more on the podcast in the near future. So stay tuned to it, of the review of this event that we went to. Men and women have different operating systems. So like say, women, we're a Mac PC. You know, our operating systems are very different to a Windows operating system like men have. And when you understand that, it changes the whole game of the relationship, knowing that men view things very differently to what women do. Oh my God, like I could talk about this all freaking day, just that one thing that I learned, and then all of the other things that we learned. But it's true though, guys, like you can rewire and retrain your brain to think better, to think differently when you practice it on a daily basis. When you practice that, it's going to show up in every area of your life. Like Millie says, this applies to business as well. If you're thinking, oh, wow, does this apply to me? You're like, this isn't going to help my business. It will, and it does, trust me, because it was all the principles I was doing in the first year. And, you know, since learning that, it's revisiting and going back to it, going, you know what, this is who the fuck I am. This is how I operate. This is different way of thinking, but in a better way. So it's still the same person, but thinking in a better way, really.
Can I just add something as well? So like it's so true, Katie. Thank you so much for that insight. You know, we can be anything that we want to be. We can decide like who we are. And when you know, you hear people say, oh, you know, I can't do that, I haven't got confidence, or I can't do that, I'm too shy, or I can't do that because of this and that. That's just a belief system, and it's a thought that you've thought over so many times that you believe that has become true for you. And that's who you've decided that you are, when actually that's not true. We're born into this world as just so pure. And it's over time that experiences and, you know, thoughts that we have and things that other people say end up kind of like not defining us, but give us that kind of like, I don't know how to describe that. It gives us our kind of identity, but actually your identity can be anything that you want it to be. So if you're sitting, oh God, I'm just not confident. Well, actually, if you think you're not confident, that's just a choice. You know, you can literally be anything that you want to be, right, Katie?
You couldn't have said it any better, honey. Seriously. It's so true, and it's why I every single day think about my I am statements, because one of my needs is love and connection, very much like Millie. I moved away from that and then became very, and she'll understand this, but many people on the call won't understand what we're talking about. But we all have primary needs, 6 of them, and I can go on do this on another call. But when you make significance and certainty your top 2 needs, which we all have, and we need them to be met in some way, just not have them as the top 2. When that became my primary outlook, then I needed to be significantly met. Like I needed to be on stage, I needed to be speaking, I needed for people to praise me, I needed all of this stuff, when actually it's not who I am. Who I am is love and connection. So now I tell myself every day, I am love, because that's what my need is. Like major, if I don't have love in my life, what's the point? Like if me and Luke argue and fall out, my world feels like it's collapsing. Like I literally can't function until it's made right. So when I make love, I think differently, I talk differently, I show up differently. When I make love the top, I am. Next is energy. Next is I am sexy. Next is I am fun. Next one is I am a warrior, because I can fucking get through anything. So when I have all of these I am statements, and I tell myself not once but several times a day that I am all of these things, it's programming and wiring my brain to tell myself that, you know, some of the examples that Millie gave, like I am confident, I am positive, I am outgoing, I am extroverted. The whole label of introvert and extrovert is bullshit. Like, it doesn't exist. Just because you enjoy your time to yourself more than what you would do in a crowd doesn't make you an introvert or an extrovert. But when you tell yourself, oh, I'm introverted, guess what you'll be? Fucking introverted. Like, I used to tell myself that I was an introvert. I don't like being around people. What the fuck? That's not true at all. So it's, you know, we tell ourselves who we are, and like, oh, you look in the mirror and you can tell yourself 5 things that you don't like about yourself instantly. And instead, we've got to train ourselves to look in the mirror going, God, I really love my eyes. I love how skinny my arms are. I love that I've got a perky butt. I love that my breasts aren't as good as what they used to be, but I still love them anyway. You know, it's choosing, being conscious and being choosing to see and look for the good versus look for the bad. Because you tell yourself, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I don't look like her, I don't look like him, or that I have too much cellulite, or my legs aren't long, or all of these things that we just automatically do as women, and men do it too. But we've got to start training ourselves to look at the good and not the bad, because the moment we can do that, again, we'll start vibrating, attracting different things. It's all about, again, it's just all going back to the thought that you have. Is it ultimately starts with a thought, but then it turns into energy, and that energy that you give off. If you say you're not a confident person, guess what you will be? Not a confident person. And if you are not a confident person, why would someone want to align with you in what you're doing? Because they don't trust you. If you're not confident, that means you don't trust yourself, or you don't trust other people. And if that's the wall that you're going to put up, no one's going to be able to get through that wall. So what's the point in working with you? But if you tell yourself, I'm confident, I am vibrant, I am full of life, I attract people, I attract customers, I attract team, guess what you're going to get? You're going to get all of those things. And at first it doesn't happen. But I tell you, if you did this, if you told yourself this repeatedly over and over, maybe every time you went to the bathroom, you had a sticky note on the wall, and you just turned around and read it to yourself every time you went to pee or poop, and you told yourself that every time, you would start to believe it after 60 or 90 days. And after you start believing it, then you start attracting it back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. Like, it all takes practice, guys. And like Katie was saying, like, whatever you put out there, you will just attract back. And I think it's, you know, it's really nice to know that, you know, even if you aren't in like the best mindset at the moment, it's not forever. You know, you can literally wake up and decide to be somebody, you know, that you're not right now. And it might feel strange, but sometimes we have to say these affirmations to ourselves that we really don't feel that we are. But the more that you say things like, you know, when you say, like, if you're not confident, you're like, well, how am I going to say I'm confident if I'm not? You just have to say it. And you just have to say it.
Can I just share something super vulnerable that I've put on my I ams, that's new, that I didn't believe before, but the moment I started saying it, it showed up quite quickly actually, and then showed up as in action. So I'm going to be really vulnerable with you guys and share this. So as I mentioned, I put, I am love, I am energy, I am fun, I am sexy. And I didn't believe I was sexy. Right, I know you're gonna think, fuck off, Kay, you fucking idiot. Like, seriously. But no, after having Lake in the C-section, my body changed quite a lot. You know, I've always been a pencil with curves, which is okay. And you know, I really felt like I'd lost my identity a little bit when I had Lake. You know, becoming a mom and all of these different things brought a lot of different feelings and elements to it that I wasn't prepared for. And that's what put me into postpartum depression a little bit, because I had this idea of what things would be or who I would be, and it didn't happen. So when I lost that side of myself a little bit, becoming a mom, you kind of, I don't know, the best way I can describe it is when I was in my 20s and you walk into a club or a bar, and let's say Christina Aguilera Dirty came on, you turned into a dirty hoe and you danced like you didn't care. You were the filthiest thing in that club or in that bar, right? That's just an example of a song, but something that just makes you feel super sexy, that you'll just dance freely. And, you know, you start grinding upon a boy or whatever. And I remember walking to bars and clubs and just feeling super like in my sexy element, that I just wouldn't care like how I was dancing, and, you know, be really in my sexy element in the way I was dancing. And I felt like after having Lake, every time I would go to a bar or a club, I'd feel like I was a fucking pencil. Like I just forgot how to dance because I'm going to quote this, lost, because I didn't lose it, just I've forgotten it, how to really let that essence side of me come out and that sexy side of me come out. So then I started to create an identity about myself that I'm not sexy, I am not, you know, sexual, or all of these things attached to my idea of what sexy looks like. And I started to move away from it. So the moment that I got that back is when I started to tell this was like months ago, I created this I am. This was like 5 months ago, 6 months ago. I told myself I am sexy. So I'm telling myself this daily, 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 daily. Then I start ordering like literally sexy lingerie, which I've not done in forever, like a really long time. So I'm ordering like these really nice outfits off Amazon. Then I start buying like sexy like outfits, so like nurse outfits or maid outfits that I can like dress up and be all flirty for Luke and have fun. And then it turns into when we go to this event that we've just been to, and that essence is already coming out of me more so than ever. But then when we go to this event, we're learning how to pole dance, we're learning how to striptease, we're learning how to give our partners a lap dance and like literally be all sexy for him. You think I would never fucking do that. But when we did it, I seen all these women just transform into their own sexual I don't even know what to call them because it was just so beautiful, but all of these sexual temptresses, it was just amazing to watch. And then having that spirit come out of me even more was so liberating. It was untrue because it was already in me. It just had been forgotten and pushed away a little bit. So this is how that I am showed up in my life, because I started to tell myself that I am sexy. I'm no longer telling myself I'm this like mom bod and all of this stuff. No, I am fucking sexy. And the more I told myself, little things started to show up in my life where I now started to buy lingerie just so subconsciously. It was untrue. Started to buy like nice new lingerie. Then I would buy like sexy outfits. Then I would start, you know, playing around with my husband again. Like, you know, I'm not even going to go into graphic detail because it's TMI, but I'll let you use your imagination. And then, you know, I'm finding myself at this event absolutely loving it and really coming into that essence and, you know, doing things I would never have done a few years ago, you know. So and it all just started from an I am statement and thinking to myself, I am this. So there's the live example. That's how it shows up, just by a thought. And you might not believe it for the first week, the first 2 weeks, or the first month, but I promise you, if you just tell yourself every time you go to pee, or you have it on your phone as a background, so every time you look at it, every time you open your phone, before you even do anything, you read through them, you read them out loud. Every time I get up in the morning, I do my priming or my breathing or my meditation, I tell myself like, I am fucking love, I am energy, I am fun, I am sexy, I am a warrior. And I tell myself over and over and over, like 5 or 10 times. And I really like move my body and feel it. And I look fucking crazy when I do it. I look crazy. If any of the neighbors saw me, I'm jumping on a trampoline outside, or I'm like stood in the garden just letting out the dogs. I'm just like, I am love. And I say it out loud. And even if I would have looked at myself like 5 years ago, like, she is batshit crazy, but it works. It really, really does work. And it can transform not only your life, but your business life too.
Oh yeah, thank you so much for being vulnerable with us, Katie. That's a really, like, it's a really memorable example, and it's a really great example, you know, for you to share that with us. And you know, it is so true. Like, just one small thing, like the trajectory that's had on your life, you know, just by saying one simple I am is incredible. And just relating it back to business, like, it just goes to show, like, whatever that your thought patterns are about your business now are creating the future that you've got, guys. So if you're thinking to yourself like, well, I'm not where I want to be in my business, then start thinking something different. Start thinking about where you want to be. What position do you want to be? I remember when I first started this business, I didn't know what an NMD was. I had seen one. All I knew that I wanted to be an NMD. I didn't know anything that was in between. We didn't know how to get to SDD. We didn't know what PB was. All I knew was that I wanted to be an NMD. So I wrote it every day and I said it out loud. I was like, I am NMD, I'm NMD. I used to dream about it. I used to have it on bits of paper. Like I'd open my wardrobe and it'd be stuck there and it'd be like, I am NMD, like with like visions of me on stage. And you've just got to put into your mind what you want. It's that simple. Whatever vision of you've got of your future, you've got to match that up with the thoughts that you're thinking in your mind. Because if you've got a vision but your thoughts don't match it, there's going to be no, like, it's just not going to link up together, guys. So the visualization and the words have got to come together, because language is everything. Every word that you say has an emotion and it has a vibration. And like Tony talked about, doesn't he, Kate? He says, you know, if you're thinking about someone that's depressed, and if you think about someone that has depressed body language and the way that they speak, how are they going to sit? Like, how's someone that's depressed going to sit, that's got depression going to sit? Are they going to be like this and all happy? No, they're going to be like this, and their body language is going to be down, and their voice and their vibe. Like, you know when someone's got depression because of the way that they speak. Whereas when you meet someone that's high energy, that's got great vibe, that's, you know, that's got positive language, you know, Kate is a great example of that, then, you know, you can tell, and they've got a better vibration because they've got a better use of language and a better link to their vision. So really think about your language that you're speaking to yourself every day in your personal life and in your business life, and about like, you know, your self-love. And I really do strongly believe that, you know, if you're not loving on yourself every day, then, you know, it's going to be a struggle, because if you're not loving on yourself, how are you going to help other people love themselves? And really, I think that it's a massive part of our business is helping people not just get the results, but working on that mindset too. So if you can share your journey of how you're starting to like raise that vibration, raise your self-love and your, you know, self-awareness, then you can help other people do the same.
Yeah, so true. I mean, like you said, you your thinking process and your vision has to match that. Otherwise, you know, you could have a house on the ocean, but if you're depressed, like, guess what? You're not going to get it. Simple as that. If you're thinking, oh, I'd love to live on the ocean, but oh, it's never going to happen, then guess what? It won't. It's so true. Yeah, I don't think I could add anything to that, because you just said it so perfectly. I'm trying to think of what else. I think, guys, as well, like, it's so important to have a vision and knowing exactly what you're working towards and what you want. I see so many people get really stuck at where they are because they don't know what they want. And if it is something you don't know what you want, then I highly recommend either booking in a call with me and Millie, and we can start breaking down of what that actually looks like for you. Because without a vision, you know, people perish. Like, we don't know what we're working for, and we've got nothing to get excited about, to get up for, because we're doing this business to help other people, but we're not going to be in this business if it doesn't somehow impact us in some sort of way. You know, the fulfillment of helping people is such a big part of that, but, you know, we've got to have our own personal goals as well. So it's knowing what, I mean, I'm just turning my head because I'm looking at my own vision board, and it's like, what do you truly want? And if you aren't sure of that, and, you know, you kind of will, you know, I have everything I could ever want. Okay, well then, what does the future look like? What else can you build upon? So, yeah, and I remember a couple of my team members, my leaders, were working towards NMD, and they had their goals and sticky notes all around the house. So they would see it daily, or if they, you know, you have a desk at work, or a place of work, then, you know, put it on your place of work, and, you know, exactly what you want, have it on your phone. You know, apart from your I am statement, have your vision board on your phone. I had mine on my phone, and now I have it in my office, where I see it every time I just turn my head, and it's there. And if I just need some kind of inspiration, I just look at what I'm working towards and go, right, I get it. You know, it's the biggest thing. That's what's helped me with my business, is knowing exactly what I'm working for. And every vision board, I've ticked everything off, everything I've ever wanted. And it's hard because I'm in that position now where I've got everything I could ever want, honestly. Like, I've got the house, well, I don't have the house, but the type of house I want is on my vision board, but I'm living in the house that I would want. We've just got to save a big deposit to be able to buy it, which is hard when you've got no freaking credit after moving countries. A great credit score in the UK, now I have to start from scratch again. You know, so I've got the Range Rover, I've got my dream car, I've got the family, I've got my beautiful daughter, I've got a beautiful husband. You know, I've got all the things I could really want, and it's like, okay, so what's next? And I've had to really dig deep and go, okay, well, what does that look like? You know, what are the experiences I want in life? What are the things I want to contribute towards? What are the things that I visualize for my daughter's future? You know, what could I do to set up for her? And, you know, the only good answers you get, guys, is by asking yourself really good questions. And when you ask yourself really good questions, you get really good answers. So practice on going, well, and it's even when you come down to those thoughts and going, okay, why am I thinking this? What has happened for me to think that thought? And then when you really dissect it and look backwards, it's actually over nothing, and let it go. Like, just let it go. So yeah, I don't think there's anything else I can cover when it comes to mindset, because that's a lot, and I don't want to overwhelm you. It's just going through your I ams and going, this is the question I would say to you guys, and I cover this in the podcast. It's, who do you want to be? Or who do you need to be? Is a better question. Who do you need to be in order for you to go to that next level in life? Who do you need to be? Because I asked myself that question, and it was, I need to be more loving. So I put love at the top. I need to have more energy, which is second, which is super important, because if I don't have, and I'm not talking like energy to be able to run a marathon, I mean the emotional energy, where I'm living in a happier space, because I'd let things affect me way too easily, especially after having a baby and your hormones are all fucked up. So I made sure that energy was second, because that was super important. And then I am fun, because I wanted more fun in my life. I took myself way too seriously over the first few years of running business. And I just thought, you know what, I'm going to have more fun in my life. Then the fourth thing is, I am sexy. And then the next thing is, I'm a warrior, because I want to remind myself that I can fucking get through anything. I've been through so much in my life. And I've sometimes last year, certainly, or is it 2000s? Well, yeah, like 18 months where I'm like, holy shit, girl, you've faced all of that and still breathing. You know, so I remind myself, I'm a warrior and I've been through shit, but I can get through anything that life throws at me, and to do it with grace. So that's who I need to be, that I've been doing now for the last 6 months, and it's shown up massively in my life, and it's shown up in all areas of my life. And now that, am I that person 100%? No, but I'm definitely closer to it than I was 18 months ago. So, you know, it's, who do you need to be? Do you need to be, I am consistent, you know, like putting that on your I ams. If you need to be more consistent with your business, you could have your own personal I ams, and you could have more little business related I ams, like I am consistent, I am NMD, I am PMD, I am Club 100, you know, like whatever it is that you're working towards, like more business related. You could have that too, but in order for you to do the business, you have to do the personal too, and you have to practice the personal more to then be who you are in business. So it's really figuring that out, guys. And, you know, if you need inspiration, Pinterest is like my Bible. You know, you can look at I am statements on there, and some little inspiration. You know, if you're someone who's suffering with your weight or your health, you know, go, I am healthy, or I don't know, a lean green fighting machine, or something like that. I don't know, whatever fits you. Or I am a skinny bitch. You know, I don't care, because of your own I am statement, but whatever it is that you need to be. If you need to lose weight, if you need to have a better attitude, if it's, you need to have more gratitude, you need to have more fun in your life, to put it down on paper, guys, and you'll become that person over time. Just please remember that this isn't just you say them and overnight you then become someone different. No, this is like going to the gym and lifting that weight. That muscle only builds when you lift that weight, and it's the same as saying these I am statements. It's over time that muscle will grow, that emotion will grow, that thought process will grow, and that new identity will grow and eventually become you.
Yeah, so true. Thank you so much for that, Katie. And I think it's really important to remember as well that you know, like Katie said, it's the long game. It's not just the overnight thing. It's something that we've all got to work on. And you know, I don't think anybody can ever get to that point where they go, oh well, I'm exactly who I need to be now, because we can always progress, and there's always going to be emotions that make you feel up and down and going to challenge you. Whether, you know, even if you are feeling in a great headspace, there's sometimes something that comes along and throws you right off track, and you go, oh my God, like, what's this here for? Is it to teach me a lesson, or is it a blessing? You know, there's so many things in life that would challenge you on your mindset, and that's where it's almost like a level up. Sometimes you have to like grow through what you go through, and it will help you prove to yourself that you're ready to take that next step into that next level. And this might all sound a bit, you know, like, what is Millie and Katie talking about? But guys, just start. It's those I ams. I honestly can put my hand on my heart and say that is how I started my journey. It was actually, I actually started my I ams when I was 16. I read an amazing book called You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hayes. And it literally changed my life in more ways than I ever really could have imagined, because I had no idea what it was really all about back then. But the thing is as well, guys, what I will say is that it's all thanks to Katie that I've got the mindset that I've got as well. Like, it's been a journey, and she's helped me grow so much. And, you know, the reason that we're sharing this with you is because we've obviously been in a place where we've not been our best selves. And, you know, through going to different events like Tony, Katie's done lots of other self-development events as well. But it's so important that you're developing who you are, you know, all the time, every day, to grow into the best version of who you want to be, not who you think you should be, who you want to be. So really, like Katie said, like, who do you need to be to go to the next level? It doesn't matter what other people think. Remember that, what Katie said at the beginning. It doesn't matter what other people think. It's about who you are and who you want to be, and that's who you can choose to show up as every single day.
Totally love it, Mills. I think just to wrap up, just looking at the dates, like, I'm so excited. You know, we're on the 28th. We've got a few more days left of October, and I want to extend our winter incentive to after the conference, not just before, but maybe we do it till the 11th. Mm-hmm. So it gives you guys 1, 2, hang on, what are you doing? Stop it. 1, 2, so like just over 2 weeks to really get in your orders for the winter incentive. I'm super excited, and I'm very fucking jealous that you guys get to go to conference. I'm hoping that Millie's going to zoom me in for a couple of things, or FaceTime me in for some of the things. But I can't wait to see all of your pictures and all of your memorable moments from conference. I'm super excited. So we'll do it up until the 11th. We were going to do it before conference or up until the day of conference, but let's extend it till the Monday the 11th, because then you guys can capitalize on some of the excitement too. So yeah, just good luck and go and smash it. I've got to run now, but thank you all for joining me this evening. I really appreciate your time and all of your beautiful souls. And if you've got any questions, just reach out to me and Millie. This is what we're here for. Please use the WhatsApp to your advantages. Use the team, the Dream Team Facebook group to your advantage too, making sure that you're locking in with your community. This is what's going to help you, again, vibrate differently and just give off that such a better essence and energy by getting involved in a community. Remember, when you're feeding off each other, that's going to feed the rest of the world. So thank you so much. I love you all, and have a great rest of your evening. Good night.
Thanks so much, Katie. See you soon. Thanks,
Bye.
guys.